Welcome to part 2 of Tyflow rain simulation on a site. Perfect, so with our rain droplets they're in the sky. Next things next is we want to make these fall like rain particles. So to do that, we will be adding in a force component to simulate gravity. So that can be located in these blue ones here. Look for force. And we are going to drag this underneath shape. Sorry, delete event if you ever place something out of place, and place it underneath shape. Cool. So what this will do is we will add in gravity. Cool. Force. Built in gravity. Look for gravity. And we will be typing in negative 0.1. Cool. Press play and we can see this. Awesome. What's that? Sorry. If you ever get lost, click this icon here and it will zoom to everything you've got modeled in this scene. So press play so I'll zoom in a little quicker so we can actually see what's going on. As you can see, they are falling from the birth surface. But our issue is that they're falling straight through the terrain. Because in our stack here, it's actually not referenced and it doesn't know this exists. So let's fix that by creating a collision. Now collision is located in one of the yellow icons. Drag that right under the gravity. Amazing. Very similar to our birth surface, we are going to reference this in. So have that selected and then press add selected. Cool, so that will bring that one in. Now let's test out and see what's going on now. Cool. So it's definitely seeing that. But this isn't exactly how rain reacts, is it? You can see the balls and they are bouncing off of this. So to try and mimic more so how rain will react, we will go down to the parameters and look for how to minimize this bounce, which is right here. So the bounce strength is at 25. Water would not bounce, so let's just make that 0 flat. And as for friction, water wouldn't get stuck on a surface like that. It is slippery. So let's do something very low, like 7. Awesome. All right, amazing. So now that we have that in, we need to increase our scene. We can do two things. We can either lower this or increase our scene. Because what's happening right now, just before the water is able to slide along the surface so we can analyze it, the scene is ending. So if you look down here, this is how many frames are in our scene. And as we get to the end, our scene cuts off. So let's adjust the length. Let's do 200. That's going to double it. Currently we're at 100. See how that's placed us to the center of our scene? Awesome, just let that compute. Perfect. Cool. Awesome. So let's reduce that friction even more. Let's go to 2. See what happens. Much better. You can start to see that is starting to slide like water. Very cool. For the sake of the exercise, let's actually increase the segment count of this to, let's do 150 by 300. The amazing thing about this is that it will all update in real time because we've referenced this in. So we can see there is now much denser rain particles. Let that run through just so it can load into the scene. Awesome, and we can start to see that build up more. Much better. Cool. Very nice. We can see patterns happening in the surface to kind of mimic how rain would fall on the terrain. We can always increase that more, but to me this is quite adequate, as you're able to understand what's going on. Cool. So let's pause that, minimize this, and let's hide this by opening the layer explorer. We see that as our sky. Just turn that off. That's not deleting it or getting rid of it at all. That is just hiding it in our scene. This way we can see a lot more what's going on. Cool. We can now see water on our terrain. Awesome. So now, if we want to make any alterations, the cool thing is that we can update that to our simulation. So let's turn Tyflow off and inspect this. So this is our surface. If we want to make any modifications, we can convert this to an edible poly. Awesome. So what that has done now, if you look at the modifier stack, it is an edible poly. If you turn on vertex subselection, we can see all the points on our surface where the vertices are. And if you have watched the previous videos, we can use soft selection to start manipulating the surface in a very smooth way. So using soft selection, have that turned on, fall off, let's increase the fall off. And as they get cooler away and as they get hotter, this is what we can see what's being selected with this kind of color. Let's push this up to create a hill. Awesome. Turn that off. Let's turn the terrain, the Tyflow back on. Now we can see as I have changed that, it is updating here. You can see each frame being updated. So once that's done, we can see it update in our scene. Amazing. And there you have it. That is using Tyflow to create a water simulation. let's change this to... There we go. Press F3 if you want to be able to see the surfaces. Awesome. Okay, everyone, that concludes our video. I hope you enjoyed that. This has been Tyflow.